Hello, my baby gorillas, and we are a bigger podcast than Alex Salmond. I was just checking Alex Salmond's figures, and we have actually had more views in the 2 years that both the Guerrilla TV channel and also Alex Salmond, who, to be fair to Alex, runs a much better, more professional show than we do. As the police officer said, I'm just one bloke with an iPhone. You're just one bloke with an iPhone. And we have got more views than the former First Minister of Scotland. We've also got more views in the Scottish Liberty podcast, run by the two gentlemen who are high up, Tam Laird and Mr. Samaroff, Anthony Samaroff, who are high up in the Scottish Libertarian Party. So we are the go-to guys for Scottish politics, and thank you very much. Without you, this would be nothing. So my greatest thanks for actually getting us where we are. We are the up and coming. I don't ask you to subscribe or like or share. I don't have to do that. You guys have done it for me because you guys like the quality and content of our programmes and our podcasts. And bear in mind as well, I'm banned off Facebook because obviously Mark Zuckerberg, who's now in a whole lot of trouble in America, is now having major problems, lawsuit after lawsuit, and there'll be things done here about Mr. Zuckerberg's banning people and interfering in Scottish and British politics. So one of the things I'd like to just ask you, there is a chance that I think Andy McNeil thought he was going to have torpedoed my political career, only to know that it's going to go from strength to strength by his interview with Nigel Farage. This is only the start, Andrew, only the start. If you wanted to say something, you should have had the decency to ask me to my face. I thought that was rather underhanded what you did to Nigel. And next time you speak to me directly. Anyway, they thought that was going to be me politically torpedoed. Even my friend said, I thought that was your glittering career in politics finished. Not even close. It is just starting, and I'm really looking forward to the next few years. It is just going to get bigger and bigger. Now, the thing I want to ask you guys is, there's a lot of start-up parties, and I'll discuss that in a minute, but should I stand for the Scottish Libertarian Party, who want independence? Should I stand for the Reform Party? Or should I set up a new centrist Libertarian Party, with the Scottish Libertarian Party being a bit on the right, and maybe have a UK centrist Libertarian Liberalist Party? And I want you guys to answer in the comments what you want me to do. And I will have a conversation on the comments with you guys, because I know I love you guys. You know I love you, my baby gorillas, and what you think I should do. Bearing in mind, I was torpedoed live on British television, and they thought that was a gotcha moment for them. Little do they know. Anyway, what have we got today? I'm back. I'm going to just briefly talk. This is a relatively short video, and I'm just going to briefly talk about what happened again with the Alex Salmond committee. And Ruth Davison's effective cross-examination of Nicola Sturgeon, and what she actually was saying in retort. And Alan Cochrane, who is the Telegraph journalist who I've met before, and he's a competent journalist, has really taken her to task and said this was rather immature of Nicola Sturgeon, saying that her husband was getting used to get to her. I don't think her husband was getting used to get to her. And it's not her husband's a civilian. Her husband's a political entity, being the chairman of the SNP. It's not as if he's just my husband and he doesn't know anything about politics. Mr. Morell is deeply involved in politics, has been for a number of years, and he is a political entity in his own right. And what has come out of the committee is just absolutely incredible. Alan Cochrane, the journalist, Telegraph, said that it could be a potential setup. It looks like Mr. Morell and Nicola Sturgeon have concocted for this setup, this political setup, to besmirch Mr. Salmond, who is coming back into politics. He's going to be readmitted in the SNP. He started doing his podcasts, which are obviously not as popular as the Guerrilla TV channel, but what can I say? Well, it's because of you guys. And yeah, so it's just, so she was trying to say, and Alan Cochrane was saying it was pathetic. Pathetic. Can't believe you're trying to say because my husband was getting cross-examined because he was quite clearly lying to the committee, that somehow that this was a cover-up, or somehow he shouldn't be involved to get to Nicola Sturgeon. This is, everybody's looking at this and thinking this is quite clearly a disgusting setup by Nicola Sturgeon and her husband to destroy Alex Salmond's reputation by these political or sexual smears. That's what everybody's thinking just now. And they won't release the legal documentation. Where's the legal documentation? What's getting hammered just now is the fact that Mr. Morell doesn't know whether he was at meetings with Nicola Sturgeon and the First Minister. Was he there? Wasn't he there? Was Nicola Sturgeon there? Was Elvis there? Nobody knows, because he can't tell. And the Ruth Davidson's trying to use him to get to me. But obviously they're not telling the truth. What does they expect? Do they expect them not to try and cross-examine Mr. Morell, who's the head of the SNP's, chairman of the SNP, with his wife being the First Minister? I mean, that's a deadly setup. Your husband, if that's not nepotism, your husband's the chairman of the SNP and your wife's First Minister. One party state. So Ruth Davidson was smashing it again, and Nicola Sturgeon was complaining like a child. Oh, I can't believe you're using my husband. So not using her husband, you're lying, or Mr. Morell was seen to be lying, or certainly being deceptive to the committee, and wasn't actually telling the truth. And Mr. Cochrane picked up the immaturity of the First Minister's retorts about her husband being actually spoken to in the committee by the committee members, including Murdo Fraser, and also the First Minister was then challenging the fact that somehow there wasn't a right there to actually challenge this. This is very, very serious. A man's reputation in life has been destroyed, or not, well, it's not been destroyed now because he's been exonerated because it's gone through the legal process, but by making false sexual allegations or allegations that seem not to be true, I would suggest that the women who make the false allegations should be then go on trial. You can't just make false allegations, or this is seen not to be proven, and there has to be a way of actually then suing the person that's made it. And if people make false sexual allegations, they should be going to jail. So it's a very, very big dirty thing that's actually happening here. And this is not even, we've not even gone on to the fact that the SNP have not actually got the legal documentations. There's no legal document. We've not even got to that stage where the SNP, and how long is the SNP going to be able to cover up the fact that they've not produced the SNP? What's the timescale? What's the timescale? When's the SNP or the judges going to be required to produce this evidence to the committee? When's the vote of no confidence in Mr. Sweeney? When's that going to happen? There has to be some sort of timeline here. There has to be some sort of, at the end of X, where we will produce these documents. So, again, completely correct by Alan Cochrane, Telegraph. I mean, it was embarrassingly childish, the fact that Nicola Sturgeon was saying that the committee was trying to use her husband to get to her. What they're trying to do is get to the truth. And obviously we can all tell that there's something very fishy going on. Fishy, do you get it? Fishy going on. We know this. We know who's lying. Where's the legal documentations? Who was at the meeting? What was said at the meeting? It's now time to come clean. Oh, unbelievable. Why is Nicola Sturgeon and her husband lying? What are they trying to hide? What is it that they've done to Mr. Salmond and what was the motivation behind it. And our Me Too, oh, this was the Me Too movement. It doesn't mean you can make false allegations and try and set men up just to actually be besmirched in the papers through the courts and have their life destroyed. And we know that there's something happened, that you have done something. Behind this, there wouldn't be so many lies if there wasn't a cover-up involved. Where are the legal documentation? Why is it not being produced? My baby gorillas, love you guys. Very interesting. Nicola Sturgeon being completely immature with regards to where the legal documentation is for the Alex Salmond trial. We need to see the legal documentation. It's about time it's been provided. Love you guys.